Get ready for takeoff because it's a take flight talk. It's your boy, James Wudi. We do have Fitz. All right. Fitz is back, but we still got Abby. All right. Now we got the trio out here in the cockpit. We taking flight. All right. I don't even know who to pass it off to. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Fitz, talk to me. How you feeling?
I'm feeling like this is an absolute necessity must win for us to have any shot in hell at the playoffs. I think it was a must win against the Vikings. I think that was kind of a must win because the way I look at the way I define must win, because we talked about this, Rudy, when we had that week, and you're like, oh, I don't know if it's must win, maybe it is. Because I think people define must win a little bit differently. Like must win to have a shot at the playoffs, or must win because you want to control your destiny as to what your outlook looks like. And that's how I viewed it back then. Now we are in a must win, or we are not going to the playoff situation. And I think, this is a game that is even beyond playoffs to must win. Salah and Joe Douglas, we have constructed a very good team over the last 2 years. And just to dive deep into the how I'm feeling question, we've had now 10 of the 15 weeks of football. We have featured Rookie of the Week as a Jet. And there's 4 unique Jets that have received that. And of course, I know the first thing everybody's going to say, Matt, that's a fan voting award, like BFD. You know what? It isn't a BFD because for us to have 4 different players to perform well enough to even be considered, in this and have an option to vote for them shows how tremendous of a job we have done turning this personnel around. Now it's time for the coaches to step up. We're going up against the Lions. Sure, they were favored against the Vikings last week. Again, BFD. This is not the Vikings team. This is the Jets team. We have a significantly better defense than the Vikings do, which is why the Lions are probably favored against the Vikings in the first place. We need our defense to step up dramatically, improve, with the likely absence of Quinnen Williams. That's going to hurt us. Hopefully he plays. We will see. But if he is not there, we're going to need a big step up from the rest of the defense, specifically defensive line. But I'm excited about this game. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be high scoring, sadly. But it's going to be a fun one. There's a lot of things to look at with this one. And I'm excited because Wudi nailed another Wudi 3. But let's send it over to Abs. Abby, what are we thinking?
I've been up and down all week about it. Like I was nervous, then I wasn't nervous. And then I read your article, Wudi. Now I'm back to being nervous. So it's been a roller coaster, but I agree with you, Fitz. It's a must win. We needed to win either against Minnesota or Buffalo. And now we're on, a losing streak. And I don't know. The thing is, if we lose another game, the momentum's just kind of going to die down. And I don't know how we start the season so strong and then completely fall apart at the end. And I'm going to say it. That's typical Jets type of stuff to fall apart completely at the end. But yeah, I'm pretty nervous about this week. It is going to suck without Quinnen. Mike White was limited, but he's expected to play, so that's good. I did read that Hutchinson wasn't at practice today. Unknown illness. So let's
All right.
Hopefully there's more to come on that, but he's a scary dude. 7 sacks on the season. So, and with Mike White being still kind of injured, I'm very nervous about him getting hit just one good time and being out for the game and things like that. So it's just been up and down all week, but I do think the New York Jets come out with a dub this week. We have no other option. But then again, both of these teams are playing for a spot in the playoffs. They all know what's on the line. And I'm going to be honest, I was looking at the Lions, the rest of their schedule, Panthers, Bears, Packers, kind of easy to me. And now the Jets got Jags, Seahawks, and then, of course, Miami at the end. So we have a much harder schedule to make the playoffs. So, yeah, this definitely is a must win. I said that last week, but I'm going to keep repeating it. So.
Yeah, How is it not? How is it not? I don't like the term, and that's why Fitz. We had our back and forth back then. There's still a shot. Even if we do lose this week, we'll still have a shot. But this is a must win. You need to win. Like Abby was saying, like 3 straight. That's just like a L to the morale in the locker room. Both of these teams are 9th place in the playoff race. They are hungry. They are young, right? Young cores that fortified themselves in the draft this year. Great draft this year. And they're doing work. The first time I ever talked about this game was during the bye week episode, and I said, if we lose to the Lions, that means that at least 7 of our starters have died. And although we did lose, we've lost, Quinnen, George Fan playing at, people are dying out there. The Lions team that I was referring to had 2 wins. That's not this Lions team that we're playing. Just to give you guys a little stat, since week 8, their point differential has been plus 50 points. They're averaging 34 points a game. And from that same stretch, our point differential is -1, and we've been 1-4 since that time. Mm-hmm. So, we're kind of heading in different directions. And honestly, if I'm Vegas, I'm thinking, yeah, well, that slide's just going to continue. But I just feel something. I feel something, and you saw it in Salah. When he was talking about cashing receipts, everybody was laughing at him, and then everybody was laughing with him. Now he's talking about, hey, we're going to see the Bills again in the playoffs, and people, they don't know whether or not to laugh. They don't know. But I think we're going to be laughing with him again. So I do have faith in Salah. I mean, I know the Lions fans have faith in Dan Campbell. That's a very passionate man as well. It's worth noting this defense has gotten 0 turnovers since the bye on quarterbacks not named Trevor Siemian. So, this defense, I'm not saying it's bad. It's clearly not bad. They're playing good, but I don't know. Is it the whole Skylar Thompson, Kenny Pickett, Brett Ripien? These are the core. Now we're facing Josh Allen, Kirk Cousins, and we're not performing at nearly the same level as a defense. And to go against a team that is now 3rd in the NFL in points per game over the last 4 weeks and say we about to stop them without Quinnen Williams, without our best defensive player, the only reason why
Absolutely we will.
Absolutely
we will.
Hey, whatever you're smoking, I think you know my address. Send it.
I'll ship it over. But Woody, what was the teams that they played to get all these points? They only had one team with a good defense that they played where they put up points, and that was the Bills. Every other team's defense they played has been terrible.
Hey, we just went against the 32nd ranked defense, right? And we weren't able to put up the same points that they've been putting up. You play who you play, right? You can't control the schedule. Of course. They've been doing work.
They've been doing work on weak defenses. They are going to come in to MetLife, and they're going to be prepared. We're going to be prepared to give them a rude awakening. I can assure you that. They have not gone up against a Sauce DJ Reed, Michael Carter trio like we have. They have, especially not on the road. They beat the Bills at home, and they lost to the Bills at home, but they put up a good amount of points in that game. But with that outlier, I am really not impressed about the talent that they've done it against. Them doing it takes a lot. They got some good wide receivers over there. Not like there's obviously Amon St. Brown. There's DJ Chark.
Yeah, they got weapons for days.
Then you had Jameson Williams coming back in. Then Josh Reynolds is pretty good too. They've got people to throw to. I am not concerned about Jared Goff throwing for 303 touchdowns. It's not happening. It's just not happening. There's a 0% chance that happens. I think we are going to keep these wide receivers down. Jared Goff is going to throw for 250 max. That's his ceiling. That's his ceiling. And I think it's going to be closer to being between 200 and 225. Our D-backs are good. We have been playing good all season. Sure, the turnovers haven't quite been there, but our passing defense is still extremely good this year. So that's what they're mostly relying on. If you look at how they're scoring the points over this stretch. So we'll see what happens. I think they're going to be able to run the ball against us a lot better, more successfully than they will be able to pass, especially with Q out. So I think their game change plan is probably going to be a little bit different than it has been. But no, I am not concerned about this game. It's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. But as long as Mike White stays healthy, or God forbid he gets hurt, and we bring in our number two, Zach Wilson. Hopefully he's made a jump. I mean, that's all I'm going to say on him. Hopefully this timeout, the corner we put him in, to think about what he did. Hopefully that's made him a good boy, but we shall see.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't bet anything on that. And I don't even know about anything that you've been saying, because everything that you just said about the Lions, who have they played? I mean, the Giants have a pretty good defense. They play pretty good defenses. Our defense has gone against Brett Ripien.
They had a good defense.
And Trevor Siemian. Like, we are actually facing tough challenges now, and we're not producing at the same level. We're not. And we couldn't put up the 34 points against Minnesota the week prior. I think you're kind of underselling the challenge that is ahead of us, because it is a gargantuan challenge, in my opinion.
Abby, is gargantuan a fair adjective to use here?
No, they have Detroit has a horrible defense. They haven't really, to be honest, I hate to say it, because I know I got mad when people said, the same thing about the Jets, but the only legitimate win they've had is the Vikings. Everyone else who did they play? Nobody. And then, you know what? If I'm correct, does Detroit play in a dome?
Yeah, I believe so. Ford Field.
Yep. Inside. You can't tell me they're going to come to MetLife outdoors. It's going to be cold. It's even cold here in Arizona. It is 30 degrees right now. You can't tell me that with all the weather conditions that they're going to come to our house and just completely dominate. You know what? Goff hasn't had a pick, I think, since week 10 or something like that. He's been playing pretty perfect. But I think our defense is definitely going to come up with something. I do agree with the game plan. They're probably going to try and run it down our throat, but I don't think they're going to test Sauce, and I don't think they're going to test DJ Reed either.
And no team is more prepared right now to play in cold conditions than the New York Jets. Coming off of that, that game in Buffalo was miserable. And I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. But Wudi, fire back.
I mean, you guys are saying some point, and let me actually fire back with the Lions D, because everybody, like they do, right, give up the most points per game right now, or overall. It's actually not right now. That's actually my point, is that they started the year so bad. I mean, obviously their season stats are going to suck when you start a season 2-6, but they've turned a corner. They are now, since that game, 4-0. I mean, they ball. Or sorry, 4-1. Excuse me. They are out here balling, and they've been playing good defense. They actually have one of the best run defenses right now. Like in the most recent 4 games, they have a top 6 run defense. Like, they have stepped it up. I don't think, we know the team that we're about to see, and I don't think it's fair. I mean, I'm looking at these guys. I mean, yeah, there are some stinkers in here. But, the Bills had to win on a last-second field goal. Like, that wasn't, a blowout the way that we had to come back, down 11 points in the fourth. Like, that wasn't their scenario. They smacked the Vikings. They are smacking a 7-win team in the Giants. And you're telling me, who did they beat? As if they beat the Texans 6 games in a row. Like, we are the ones that are out here beating Trevor Siemian. Since losing Breece Hall, we have beat, we upset Josh Allen, and we will hang our heads up high. We upset Josh Allen, and then we beat Trevor Siemian, and that's it. That's it. All right. And Trevor Siemian hung 10 on us in the first quarter, had all of us sweating. All right. Thank God for Old Spice. cheap plug, because I was out here sweating, just so nervous during that game. So what we're gonna need is Mike White. That's what we need. I have the utmost faith in him, but I'm telling you right now, if you're expecting the defense, a Q-less defense, to win us this game, I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think the most similar defense the Lions have gone up against this year to the Jets is probably the Cowboys. The Jets and the Cowboys, we're constantly named in the top 3 best defenses in the league. Is that right or wrong, Wudi, Abby?
No, that's right. I think I looked it up earlier.
The Lions got smacked 24-6 by the Cowboys. They also, just a couple weeks prior to that, lost 0-29 against the Patriots. And not that we did great against the Patriots, but we didn't have our true quarterback one playing against the Patriots. I hear what you're saying. I don't think this is a game. I don't think Abby and I, either of us, are taking it lightly.
Oh no,
they're going to put points on the board. We're going to limit it. They're not getting 30 points. I don't think they're getting 24 points. I think it's going to be probably mid-teens. They're going to get somewhere maybe max high teens. You heard exactly what I said.
What are you talking about?
Max
just put up 27. The Bills just put up 22. Like, what are you talking about? You think
we have
the
better
Lions
defense than both of them?
We
have better defense than both of them. Are you crazy?
I'm saying against us. I'm saying our last 2 games as a defense, we have been allowing 20-plus points. And you're saying
because the Lions have a more productive. I think they score more points on average than the Vikings and the Bills.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So we're about to let up more points. That's what I'm saying.
We are not going to let up. We are not going to let up more points because, again, I think they are frauds. I'm calling them out as fraudulent, and that's what you're not understanding what I'm saying. The Bills and the Vikings are actually good teams. The Lions, we don't know. They have not proven it. They beat the Vikings at home. Like, the Vikings are a good team. That's great. The Vikings defense is not that good, and they were able to step up and perform better than our offense did against the Vikings defense. They have not done enough against good enough teams for me to be sitting here and crowning them any better than any team that we played in the last few games.
I mean, we held Buffalo to 20 points. I don't think they're getting more than that.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then these score predictions are going to be something. Who wants to go first? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Fitz,
I think Abby's desperate for it.
I have like 3 different scores, so I'm like, let me look at them one last time. Oh, man.
Pick the one in the middle.
I'm going to go, obviously, Jets dub. Jets 24, Detroit 19. I think we hold them under 20 points.
Abby and Fitz aligned tonight. We are aligned.
Is that your exact score? No, I can't be your exact score. Is that your score?
I was going to say I was between 24-19 and 24-17, but I'm going to go 17 just to mix it up.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, God.
that is alignment.
What is going to have us losing 30 to 17?
33-27.
Stop it. Now, Jets dub. I actually think that this game, just like the Bills, who had to rely on Tyler Bass to hit a game-winning field goal with time expiring, that's what I'm expecting. Greg the Leg to come through the clutch to give us a win, 34-31. That is the final score.
Absurd. Like, you're criminally insane. I'm calling the FBI.
What do you mean?
I'm calling the FBI. We're giving up 31 points to the Lions.
31 points to the Lions.
Mm-mm.
Do we have a direct number to the FBI? Like, would they patch me in if I called 911? Like, will I be like, yo, get me the other guys? We need the heavy hitters here.
I'm telling you. All right. I mean, don't act like you didn't hear it. Like, when this is happening and your mouth is agape and you're like, just remember that you heard it from somewhere. You heard it right here. James Wudi, 34-31. And you're talking about without Q. Like, I don't even understand how.
That's not confirmed just yet. We won't know until tomorrow.
Yeah, but he's not.
But probably not.
Yeah, probably not though.
Yeah, probably not. If
100%.
he does play, he's 100%. What?
It's not 100% that he's not playing.
No, I said he won't be 100% if he does play. Yeah. So
was he out at the half last week against Buffalo?
I think it was the third quarter he got hurt.
Third quarter?
It was not third or second. It was third or second.
I thought it was the second.
It could have been.
Well, we fared well without
him. We were all right, but
pressuring them as much.
Did you guys know that the Lions have the best O-line of any team that we face this year?
Oh, why don't you give him a kiss, Wudi? Why don't you give him a big? Why don't you marry him?
Oh my God! Typical New Yorker. Hey, fuck them. No, you gotta properly prepare for these teams. This is one of the best offensive lines in all of football, and we ain't got Q. You guys are. Oh,
we got other pieces. Stand up. Can you show us the full shirt? That shirt looks sick as hell.
This shirt right here.
Yeah.
Oh, it says Mario Kart.
I love it. Oh, that's so sick.
Yes, sir. It's a good game. But
if Mario could speak, he would say, "Wudi, you are crazy. No, it's not going to happen."
Yeah.
Big and speak. That's what he'd say. It's just all I'm saying.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree. Oh my gosh. But we are all counting on that Jets dub. All right, we surely are. And obviously, for a dub, there are some keys to the game. So let's just dive in real quick to 3 things that I think are super important as the Jets try to get this dub and secure a playoff spot. Number 1, all right, every breath you take, Mike White, we know that the ribs are hurting. Every breath you take, I know you feel it just, right? But you finished that game so well against Buffalo. I have the utmost faith in you. Finishing the game, all right? Like, making good throws. Like, they weren't, he didn't just start, going crazy and being inaccurate at the end of that game. He was still throwing accurate, good balls. So I think that's what's going to happen again against Detroit. All right, I'm expecting 300 yards from you, Mike. 300 yards and multiple TDs. I'm calling it. All right, call it a Wudi 3 guarantee. All right, and how is that going to happen? With point number 2, line up. I mean, we're going against. Well, maybe we're not going against Aiden Hutchinson, but if he's there, that's going to be a challenge for my boy George Fant, who's playing at less than 100%. Dwayne Brown, who's old as shit. Like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to get that man. But hey, if we can just give Mike 3 seconds, we know that's not enough time for Zach because he leads the league in longest time to throw in the entire, NFL. But for Mike, 3 seconds is more than enough time. More than enough time, right? He actually has one of the quickest times to throw in the entire league. So 3 seconds. Give him that 3 seconds. On the other side of the ball, I mean, I don't even know. Move Clemens inside. We need somebody to collapse that pocket like Q has been doing, and I don't think Solomon Thomas is that guy. Number 3, for a 1K, Garrett Wilson. How about a positive stat? Because I know, Fitz probably thinks that I'm out here repping the Lions, underneath my shirt or something. Nah, all right, I'm Jets till I die. So here's a positive Lions stat. For the last 4 games, this is actually kind of mind-blowing. For the last 4 games, the opposite receiver that the Lions face is averaging 130 yards per game. All right, that's Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs. I can't remember who's on the Christian Kirk, whoever they signed up from the practice squad on the Giants. Those 4 guys, 130 yards. Justin Jefferson alone had 220 yards last week. So Garrett Wilson, all he needs is 132 to become the first Jet in a while to get 1,000 yards. I think he's going to do it. I think, call that another Wudi 3 guarantee. Garrett Wilson, over 132 receiving yards this Sunday.
Well, Wudi, I love this. And, you bring up, I'm trying to think, when was the last time we had an 1,000-yard receiver? And who was the quarterback? And was it 2,000-yard receivers that we had? My namesake, my main man, Ryan Fitzpatrick in 2015, Eric Decker, and Brandon Marshall, 2 1,000-yard receivers. And this year, it's an absolute lock. pending injury, that we get our first one since our king, our prince, every fan's favorite quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick's electric 2015 season.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you agree, Abby?
Yeah. Oh, I
love him.
You just made his life right there.
It's magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
he definitely wasn't tragic. He definitely wasn't tragic and cost us the playoffs.
Cost the playoffs. He got us in the position to be there in the first place.
Through 3
So
picks in the clinching game. It's all good, and then robbed us the next season for $14 million. It's all good.
We might have gotten fleeced with the contract the next season. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So Garrett Wilson, just want to talk about. I mean, really, the four of these rookies that have kind of got these Rookie of the Week awards. I mean, that's for Zonovan Knight to come in as an undrafted, kid. And for him to make the impact that he's done, I'm curious when the coaches really saw it. For us to go and pick up James Robinson as quickly as we did after Brees went down, I'm curious, did we think we just had a good guy in him, or was he just flying under even the coach's radar? Because I feel like that James Robinson move, it's getting weirder and weirder. Each week he's not even active. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to understand, when did the coaches realize that we had an absolute missile dynamite in Bam Knight? Because this guy is fantastic. I mean, he stepped up immediately. 2 straight 100-yard, from scrimmage performances, and then, just under 80 last week against an incredible Bills run defense. I am so glad that we have him. And this is, I think, kind of getting into my bigger point that I said when we first opened up, between having him, Garrett Wilson, obviously Sauce Gardner, I'm trying to figure out, if we lose this game, this is the coaches. I think most of the games that we've had this season that we've lost has come down to coaching. Personnel has been our problem 100% of the time for the last 10 years, 12 years. We have not had the personnel. This year is the first year we could say in a very long time that personnel is not the problem. We could say assuredly personnel, even with the injuries. I'm sorry, the injuries have hurt us, and that has put us behind. But we are so stacked at nearly every position that we have, where we can have 3 left tackles go down. We can have, 2 guards go down. And it's it could be better, but, offensive line is maybe middle of the pack. It's not atrocious. We're not ranked 32nd in the league, despite having significantly more injuries than anybody else on the offensive line. The coaching, is the only thing that I think that's lost us a single game this season. I think personnel has stepped up in an incredible, incredible fashion. I will say, they've also done a great job. It's kind of been back and forth. I think the coaching has been great in some games this drive, but, I think if we go and close out just really obsessed, prepared, matchup to matchup, what do we need to do? Who do we need to expose on the defense? Who do we got to double cover on their offense? I think that we should be able to win out. I really think we should. And I think it's, again, personnel I'm just so thrilled with.
LaFleur's play calling drives me nuts half the time. I'm setting live updates on the game. I'm like, why are we running it on 3rd and 23? Why? Mm-hmm. And he's usually been fairly good at making the adjustment right at the half. These last 2 games, it's like he didn't know what to do.
It's a fact.
Mm-hmm. Now, it was funny because I listened to another Jets podcast, and one of the reporters for the Jets, he's always in the locker room and stuff, he was talking about Bam Knight in the preseason. And he was so mad that we went and picked up Robinson. And he's like, why? He's like, Bam is there. And, I mean, he just loves now to bring that up. He's like, I told you this entire time we had this gem. And now you barely want to start playing him. And look how he's been the last 2 games. Incredible.
Yep.
So he's just explosive. And then, I mean, Garrett can't be stopped. No. And it's the only person that will stop him is if Mike White goes down and Zach Wilson comes back in.
Yep.
Sadly, that's a
That
fact.
is the only way he will be stopped. But yeah, I'm just really impressed with the rookies this year. I mean, I think Sauce is now right now at least defensive rookie of the year, and then Wilson obviously offensive rookie of the year. It's just, yeah, the coaching at this point, the talent's there. The talent, it's there. And like you said, we've been playing through all the injuries and we've been keeping it close. It's not like we're getting blown out. We're staying competitive, playing meaningful games in December. So, yep.
Absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let me throw some defense for my coaches real quick. I mean, hey, the Vikings game. All right, let's put that on the floor. We can put that on them. And then I'm assuming for the other games, you're saying, oh, we could have like benched Zach, right? We literally could have benched him so many times during that second pass game, halftime, fourth quarter, that last drive. Like we knew he wasn't going to be able to do anything. So okay, all right, but I mean, they are also like the main reason why we are here. I know Fitz, you were saying that that go back and forth. But this Bills game, I mean, I'm not sure if I can put that on them. All right. And I don't even want to bring this up because I've been seeing my boy getting slandered all across social media. So I don't even want to bring him up in a negative light. But you know, that Michael Carter fumble, really messed us up. It really messed us up that game. And I don't think, I mean, that was a good play call. I mean, he got the first down, you know, but he fumbled, and that's his first fumble of his entire career, you know, and people, you know, they go a little too hard on MC. I don't like it, but I think the coaches have done a good job. The injuries have killed. I mean, just imagine, and that's what sucks. You know, we talk about, or I've talked about the Bengals. You know, are we this year's Bengals, or you know, are we this year's that? I mean, the Bengals didn't lose Joe Mixon for the season in Week 7. You know, these how are these teams healthy all the damn time? Because we out here just losing Brees. You know, we can't even have nice things. And now Quinnen Williams is the best defensive tackle in football. You know, statistically, the eye test, you know, on the dance floor, you know, like he's the game. And we lose him. Like it's just so tough. Because, you know, we ain't losing Ashton Davis for the year. We lose Quinnen Williams. Like, these are the types of people that we lose every year. Last year, we threw so much money at Carl Lawson, and he didn't even suit up. So that just sucks with the injuries and how we have to deal with them. But, I mean, yeah, you know, like you guys both said, we're still fighting. We're still playing meaningful games in December. So I think that's a big kudos to the coaching staff to be able to still compete with, you know, Ogwegi, Mike Remmers out here. We just you know, straight up bums. I mean, no disrespect. But they, you know, they're not starting caliber tackles, which is why we pick them up off other teams' practice squads. But we're doing work with them. So,
well, I am going to do one final pushback to your pushback, Wudi. Then we'll pass it around for some closing thoughts here. So Michael Carter averaged 1 yard per attempt last week. He had five attempts for 5 yards. I would say it's on the coaches. Why are we giving the ball to Michael Carter? I love Michael Carter. I'm a big fan of Michael Carter. I want to say that very clearly. I'm sorry. He's going to struggle to find a role in this team next year. It's going to be Breece Hall, and it's going to be Zonovan Knight. That's going to be our 1 and 2. And it hurts me to say that. It really genuinely pains me to say this because I think that as a team player, this guy is just fun to be. Like, I enjoy the presence of him on my screen on my phone when I'm just watching videos of him at practice. Like, it's like this guy has got to be a ball of life. He's so fun. He's so nice. He has not stepped up in the way that we were really hoping him to this year. I think he got caught in the shadow of Breece Hall to start the season, and he never broke out when Breece got hurt. You know, he really hasn't had a single game this year. It's like, oh, thank God we got him. You know, Breece goes down. Michael Carter, you know, he had a couple decent games, kind of feeling as a, you know, in a role. But, you know, why are we giving the ball to Michael Carter there? I mean, I will say part of this does have to be on the coaches. I mean, Bam Knight is a beast. And when we're in a position like this where we need to get a couple yards, I think that was close to the goal line, wasn't it? We were in the red zone, I think, when MC
it was close, but it was a short yardage situation. And I'm going to push back on your pushback to my pushback and say that Michael Carter is a superior short yardage runner.
I think that's very wrong. Zonovan Knight has spun his way around out of being nothing on the line, and he has bounced off and gone around.
And we couldn't punch it in. We couldn't punch it in. We had so many tries the previous week with the Vikings, and Bam, we never punched it in with Bam. But even back when
did we try? We only had one handoff on the. We had one handoff on the goal line.
We had 2 straight, first down, second down, 2 handoffs to Bam, and then after that we had a Garrett Wilson fade, and then the Barrios drop. We had 2. Yeah. We had 2 tries. He failed in both of them. Michael Carter, even when Breece Hall was healthy with 2 ACLs, he was the goal line back. Look at that Dolphins game. Look at the Dolphins game. Every time that we got in the short yardage situation, Michael Carter was the back. Why? Because he is so hard to tackle. So in that situation, I mean, it was 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. They needed short yardage, and they needed to get this because the momentum was in our way. I wholeheartedly agree with the decision to give it to MC, and he got the yardage. It just got punched on the way down. But Michael Carter, you want to talk about, he hasn't had, a good game. He had look at Bam Knight's stats against the Bills and look at Michael Carter's stats against that first Bills game. They are nearly identical statistics, nearly identical. I'm not saying that Carter's been lights out, but I mean, yeah, he obviously was in Breece's shadow, rightfully so. Mm-hmm. Faced the Pats where we struggled, got hurt after having a good game in the Bills, with the Bills. And now, whatever is happening right now with Bam Knight, I can't say that, MC has really been, slacking like that. But I mean, the few opportunities, yeah, he hasn't blown him out the water. He hasn't blown out the water.
I would argue he absolutely has been slacking. I mean, I'm just going through these games here, looking at his statistics. I mean, Ty Johnson against the Bears had 5 attempts for 62 yards. Michael Carter had 6 attempts for 21. You go back to the Patriots game. Zach Wilson was our leading rusher with Michael Carter at number 2 with 19 yards. I mean, Michael Carter hasn't done really much. Like the first Bills game, he had a good game. He had a great game the first Bills game. That's the only game of the season, I think, where he's really performed at a level that we need our number 1 running back to perform at. Abby, are we nuts? I don't want to be harsh on him. I love the guy, but what's going
on? I do agree with Wudi that we should have given it to him on that play. He is better at getting the shorter yardage with punching it in. He's proven it a couple of games. Kind of one of them, I'm thinking it was in the first 5 weeks. But you're right. He hasn't been, and we don't need him to fill Breece's shoes, but we thought he was going to be a little bit more explosive, competitive, and he's not holding up. And you're right. Next year, he's going to he's got some competition. We all know Breece is here and everyone else kind of filters. I mean, he's going to have to compete for it, but these last couple of games, he's been really disappointing.
He really, really has been. There's really only, this Bills game is the first Bills game that we had was the only game, after Breece Hall went, that we've seen a performance that is really to talk about, with them. So just let's hop into final thoughts here. I'll just kick off. I'm very excited about this game. I was actually supposed to go to this game, but I'm hunting this weekend instead. So going from Central Virginia to Northern New Jersey in one day it's just not happening. But very excited. I think Garrett Wilson is going to slam the overs. I think he's going to. I think there's a really good shot. I think there's a very good shot that he hits the number he needs to reach the 1,000-yard mark. Like Wudi mentioned, I mean, wide receivers doing gangbusters against this defense. They're just doing they're going nuts. So I think we're going to do it. I think even if Mike White gets hurt, I think Zach Wilson will even be able to do it. Zach Wilson, I think having this time off, I'm hoping that he's real. I just got to say, I think there's a pretty decent chance that Zach plays at least a couple plays this week. Having tender ribs You know, that hit that Mike White got hit on. I mean, there was two. The second one, I mean, his entire body, like his entire body was just like he got
like a lawn chair.
Oh my God, like that. You know, I understand this guy's fighting for his career here, which is why he was like, no, I'm coming back in. Like, no shot. But that was brutal. Like, he's going to have some tenderness he's going to be dealing with this Sunday. And, you know, Aiden Hutchinson's not playing to be great. But, you know, there's a strong likelihood that he gets sacked. I mean, it's probably going to happen from somebody. So radar, Zach Wilson likely will have a couple snaps, I think. Hopefully not for too long. But even with that, I still think Garrett Wilson gets it. Abby, what do you got?
I'm not gonna give Wudi. You gave so much attention to the Lions. I'm not even gonna. You sound like the TikTokers in my comments. I'm done talking about it. It's funny. Right before we started recording, my brother texted me, and he's like, "Looks like the White Knight will play." He's like, tough dude, and he's just like I was saying, he's so well loved by literally everybody, our locker room. And obviously my brother's not even a huge Jets fan. He likes the Cardinals, but he don't even really pay attention. So if he's coming to me with that, he's paying attention. He obviously read an article or whatever, but yeah, again, must win game. And then we're going to have to turn it around really quickly in 4 days and, you know, face Jacksonville on Thursday night and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I honestly think, too, it was insulting that the Jets are favored to lose. I mean, it goes up and down. It's been up and down all week, but right now we're favored to lose by 1. And I just think that's absolutely ridiculous. So, Wudi?
I'm not going to explain why that makes perfect sense, but what I will say.
The biggest Lions fans in the history of the world.
I'm not. You guys already know where my allegiance lies. But, I mean, 50 plus 50 and -1 in the last 6 weeks are two very different numbers. Don't kill the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. But what I am saying is that this is a must-win. I don't think that Zach is going to play. Fitz got very upset with me when I called Mike White injury-prone. But now he's telling me that he doesn't think that Mike White is going to finish the game. So I don't know which Fitz I'm talking to right now. But I will say.
No, you said he's soft, not injury-prone. I said
get
the hell out of here. No, you said he's soft. You said he's soft.
I did not. You can pull your
hit. Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson would still be in the hospital today if he took that hit from.
I mean, you don't need to talk to me about Zach Wilson. I could give. You already know what I can give about Zach Wilson.
I would still be in the stretcher too.
All right, but I'm just saying that I think he will finish this game. I think we're about to see. We're about to see a performance that I think people will be talking about for a long time because I think Mike White is going to have 300 yards and I think Garrett Wilson's going to get over that 132. So I truly believe we're about to be in for a fight with a team that wants it just as bad as we do. So, Abby, you already know.
I'm going to leave you how I always leave you. 1 word, 4 letters, JETH, Jets. You already know.